What happens when a former president, campaigning to return to the White House, teams up with an elite golfer for a viral challenge, and the internet splits into three completely different realities? Hey there, I am Yizhou Chen, or just call me Dr. Q, and welcome to this video podcast. Today, we're taking a close look at a cross-domain collaboration you might have missed. Tens of millions watched the same video, yet saw three very different stories unfold. We used advanced natural language processing to decode what people were really saying, and the results are interesting. So let's start with the big question. What actually happens when politics crashes into the sports world? What does that collision look like once you peel back the layers? Here is the setup. It is July 2024. Pro golfer Bryson DeChambeau is filming an episode of his hit YouTube series Break 50, where he tries to complete a round in under 50 strokes with a featured guest. And his guest that day is the then former President Donald Trump, right in the middle of a campaign. This was not just a casual celebrity drop-in, it was a top athlete partnering with one of the most polarizing political figures. And the internet exploded. To make sense of the reaction, we went beyond likes or views. We analyzed more than 54,000 comments from YouTube and Instagram, looking for the meaning behind the noise. Now, how do you even start to decode that kind of chaos? You do it with two powerful theories from communication and psychology. First is framing theory. Frames are like the glasses people put on when they interpret an event. The broad lenses are called generic frames, things like entertainment, politics, or athletics in this case. But there are also issue-specific frames, which zoom in on the details. A missed fist bump, a quirky putting stroke, or even the way someone drives a golf cart can all take on very different meanings depending on which lens people are using. Generic frames capture the big picture, but issue-specific frames reveal how interpretations bend and shift within that larger category. The second idea is the stereotype content model, or SEM. Whenever we size someone up, we instinctively ask two questions. First, are they warm? Do they seem likable and trustworthy? Second, are they competent? Do they seem skilled and capable? Put those together and you get four boxes of judgment. High warmth and high competence means admiration. Low on both means contempt. High warmth but low competence produces pity, and low warmth but high competence creates envy. These quadrants became our map for understanding how audiences evaluated Trump and DeChambeau. So what did we find? The conversation sorted neatly into three generic frames. About 38% of comments leaned into entertainment, 34% into politics, and 27% into athletics. In other words, the same video was being pulled in three directions at once. In the entertainment frame, viewers saw two big personalities putting on a show. They often rated both Trump and DeChambeau high on warmth and competence, placing them in the admiration box. In the politics frame, the golf barely registered. Everything revolved around division and controversy. Here, comments clustered in contempt, low warmth, and low competence. And in the athletics frame, the purists focused on swings, scores, and form. Competence dominated their judgments while warmth mattered less. But things were not always that tidy. Issue-specific frames complicated the story. Small moments, like Trump's awkward greetings or missed fist bumps, shifted perceptions into the warm but incompetent quadrant. He looked clumsy, but also oddly relatable, eliciting pity rather than contempt. In other cases, such as Trump versus Biden golf fantasies, commenters placed him in the cold but competent box. They respected his skill, but did not admire his character. These findings show that while generic frames align with expected CM quadrants, issue-specific frames can push evaluations into other boxes. In this sense, the framework is fluid. The quadrants remain the same, but audiences move figures across them depending on context. Platform differences added another twist. On YouTube, where viewers could watch long clips, Trump's golf performance sometimes earned moderate competence credit. Even among skeptics, though warmth remained contested, on Instagram, comments on the same themes tilted more negative, especially around cheating debates, where competence ratings dropped. These were not complete opposites, but they showed evaluative reversals shaped by platform, culture, and audience composition. So what lessons can we take from this? First, framing theory helps us see how online conversations are not just echoes of familiar categories. Audiences actively reshape them. Generic frames give us broad expectations, but issue-specific frames can complicate or contradict those expectations. Second, SEM's warmth and competence dimensions remain useful, but they are dynamic. Audiences slide figures across quadrants in response to context, creating hybrid profiles like warm but incompetent or cold but competent. Third, once politics enters the frame, it tends to stick. Contempt dominated political discussions, and it was difficult to reframe those evaluations. Entertainment frames softened perceptions, and athletics frames spotlighted skill. But politics anchored negativity. And finally, platform matters. YouTube's long-form style encouraged more detailed competence judgments. Instagram's shorter format amplified different cues, sometimes shifting competence ratings downward. That means strategies that resonate on one platform may fall flat or even backfire on another. All of this points to a clear conclusion. Online reputation is not fixed. It is situational. It is shaped by the frame people use and the platform where that frame plays out. A small gaffe, like a missed fist bump, might humanize in an entertainment context but damage credibility in a political one. The same act can generate admiration on YouTube but skepticism on Instagram. Indeed, audiences are not passive. They are active interpreters, shifting public figures across warmth and competence quadrants, depending on context, frame, and platform. For athletes, politicians, and marketers, this means reputation is always up for negotiation. It is less like a stone carving and more like a liquid, taking the shape of whatever frame it is poured into. That's all for today's podcast, and I hope you enjoy our content today. For more information, feel free to scan the QR code and learn more about my work. I will see you around.